So good morning, everyone. It's truly an honor to stand here before you and with the leadership of the City of Mount Vernon, Montefiore, Westchester Community Health Center, and some of our electeds from around the state. This is a monumental moment for healthcare here in the City of Mount Vernon, and we're really excited. I want to thank the Montefiore team led by Dr. Philip Oswa, our unions from 1199 to NISNA to CSCA to our fire local 456, PBA, Teamsters, because all of them utilize this facility and all of them have been working with us to make sure that it stays online. I want to thank our elected officials, especially our Senator Jamal Bailey and our Assemblyman Gary Pretlow on the state level for continuing to advocate for us, our Comptroller Morton, our City Council for working with us. They've been our teams all throughout this time. We want to thank our faith community. We have represented our Reverend Pogue and our Dr. Reverend Richardson here today, our business leaders, our community leaders, the Mount Vernon staff who have worked with us through all of this, and the residents of Mount Vernon for their unwavering support and commitment to ensuring that healthcare remains a priority in our city. In 2019, when I had the honor of being elected mayor of this great city, I made a commitment that each day my team and I would come to work with a sense of purpose and dedication, doing the right thing for Mount Vernon. I came to this role having dedicated my life to improving the well-being of children, families, seniors, addressing challenges in housing, public health, criminal justice, economic renewal, and transforming our city's infrastructure. What I didn't realize at the day that I was elected, Dr. Oswald was also appointed as the new president and CEO of Montefiore Hospital. You can't make it up, right? In October of 2019, when we heard that Montefiore was scheduled to close in probably just a few short months in June of 2020, our community came together and we rallied at Grace, and with one voice we determined that we needed to save and transform the hospital. Many conversations were had, but it wasn't until I had the opportunity to sit down with Dr. Oswa that we finally heard what we wanted to hear, and that was that the plan was designed before he came in, but him understanding the needs of our community and the disparities that our community faced, that he was committed to making sure that Mount Vernon Hospital not only stayed open, but saw the transformation that not only Mount Vernon, but our region needed. We have to understand that Mount Vernon is the most densely populated city in the state of New York, and we're the blackest and brownest community north of the Mason-Dixon line, and we experience great health disparities. And so having a hospital in our city was not just a luxury, but it was a necessity. Losing our hospital would mean losing access to critical care for a population that had already experienced disparate health outcomes. The one thing that I've known, and I believe Dr. Oswa shared with me, is that real lasting and impactful change only happens when we work together, stay engaged in debate and dialogue and while working towards the same goal, even when we have different ideas about how we arrive at the destination. We still have to have conversation. So from the reopening of Memorial Field to securing infrastructure funds to repair our bridges and sewers, we've always tried to work here in the city of Mount Vernon as a coalition, bringing together disparate voices to find common ground. And nowhere have I been more committed to this work than when it comes to ensuring health care for our constituents. Since becoming mayor, my team and fellow electeds and I and many of our stakeholders have been in constant conversation with leaders of Montefiore about the future of health care for this community. I've come to know Dr. Oswa very well. We worked together through the darkest days of COVID, and we made sure that this community had access to vaccines and a range of services that proved to be vitally important as we navigated the changing landscape of COVID. Our community collectively pushed, and together, let me say that again, together, we secured guarantees that as we focused on the present crisis, we were planning for a future beyond COVID. Dr. Oswald promised me that the hospital would remain open and that as the system came from under the crushing financial challenges of the pandemic, that his team would improve the facility and expand services in a way that reflect and respect the community that we serve. Over the past year, I've had the privilege of working with Montefiore leaders, Peter Simchuk and Reggie Jordan, who have kept us apprised and sat at the table with us to discuss their planning and their process every step of the way. With their vision and with the help of Senator Jamal Bailey and Assemblyman J. Gary Pretlow, we've secured $41 million from the Hochul administration that had been originally committed before the pandemic, and we were able to get it switched back over to this facility, our fully functioning hospital. That deserves a clap. I'm excited to announce that Montefiore will invest those resources right here at this facility to expand and improve critically important services that will greatly benefit our community. And please understand, this is not just a financial commitment. It's a commitment to the health, the well-being, and the future of our city. Over the past year, Montefiore has hired over 50 nurses and up to 120 staff, 70 support staff. And I believe you have, about 500 employees? Yes. So it's one of the largest employers. So it's not just a healthcare facility, but it's an economic engine in the downtown of our community that if it wasn't here, it would have left a huge void. And going forward, there will be continued investment in staffing, and these are union jobs. These are good paying jobs. These are jobs that help to transform families. And with this investment comes a bold new vision for Montefiore Mount Vernon, a revitalization that will allow us to address the pressing healthcare needs of our community. So I'm sure from October of 2019, like the old Virginia Slim said, we've come a long way, baby. Now I'd like to look, it was a hard moment in the time of our community, but we didn't run away. And the one thing that I've always said is that we will fight for our community, but we're not going to fight each other. We're fighting for our community. One voice, one sound, one band, all stakeholders, and that's what we see here today. Now I'd like to introduce someone who I'm proud to call a friend and a partner, the president and CEO of Montefiore Einstein, Dr. Philip Oswa.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is indeed an external manifestation and expression of a shared vision and a shared commitment to meeting the healthcare needs of the residents of Mount Vernon. I want to thank those who've helped to make this possible. As was mentioned earlier, Senator Bailey, Assembly Member Pretlow, and Mayor Shawyn Patterson-Howard for her leadership, her vision, her partnership, her enduring tenacity in driving for the good of the residents of Mount Vernon. I too am honored to call her a partner and a friend. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And now I'd like to call on to provide us with more details on the transformation of Mount Vernon Hospital. I'd like to introduce our other good friend, Reginald Jordan, Vice President of Clinical Services and the Executive Director for the Montefiore Healthcare System.
Good morning. Montefiore Einstein is proud to be here with Madam Mayor Shawyn Patterson-Howard to reveal the unveiling of our transformational plans. As a leading community hospital, we engage with our partners at the state and local levels, as well as our Community Advisory Board in conjunction with the mayor to develop these transformational plans. Thanks, and it's with gratitude to a $41 million capital investment from New York, Montefiore Mount Vernon is now poised to become a sustainable community hospital for the going concern. With this investment, Montefiore Mount Vernon is planning on a significant capital infrastructure upgrades and modernizations, including expanded and modernized critical care areas, including the redesign and expansion of our emergency department, which is our front door. The second project consists of expanded and outfitting operating rooms with state-of-the-art equipment that will eliminate the need to transfer patients to other facilities, because now we will have six state-of-the-art operating rooms, 2 dedicated GI suites, and a CSPD central sterile processing department right here on site. And the third major project of the master plan consists of modernizing our Family Health and Wellness Center to facilitate primary care access and eliminate disparities, which will include improvements to our main lobby, modernized exam rooms, as well as support service spaces to enhance the patient experience. These upgrades will not only improve access to patient care, but qualitatively improve the environment that patients need and deserve to enhance the healing process. Investing in Mount Vernon, more importantly, investing in our patients, enables us to ensure that this hospital will serve as a long-standing community hospital for the next 130 years. So rest assured, we're committed to partnering and working together. We're committed to winning the faith and trust of each and every resident of Mount Vernon to our hospital. We will regain that trust and continue to deliver excellent care. So today marks a new chapter for patient care in Mount Vernon. So thank you.
So there are certain things that you and the audience can't see from your vantage point, but I can see. And as I look out, you know, sometimes the first people to become skeptical are not just the residents, but the staff. And I'm looking out right now and I'm seeing nurses and other support staff who literally have tears in their eyes and who are crying because this is something that they've been waiting for a long time. And if anyone knows when it's true, it's the staff that knows when it's true. And so I have to tell you, I had some nurses call me a few months ago and they said, you know, we're thinking about retiring, we're just tired. And then you had an internal, I mean, you know, this is better than a lot of the other publicity that you could get. When you have an open forum and you have a town hall meeting within your own operation, and that results in those same people calling me and saying, Madam Mayor, we believe in the vision, we believe in the commitment, and we're not going. Miss Tracy Holt McCook out there had a niceness said, she said, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to see this transformation through. And that speaks so much to what is happening here. We could talk about 41 million, we could talk about hiring staff, but people are going to still be skeptical. And it's going to take 3 to 5 years for all of these things to get done, but we're going to celebrate every small step that happens along the way. And guess what? This isn't even election season. And we are sitting here giving good news on an off cycle, right? So for the other skeptics, it depends on the election cycle. But you know, there's like, oh, the mayor just loves to give good press conferences during her election cycles. I'm not running, you know, for 3 years. I don't have to run. We have council and assembly and senator, but, you know, they've been with us all the way. And right now, I want to bring forward our Senator Jamal Bailey so that he can have a few words. But before he comes, I need you to notice some of the other partners that we have here. We have our Community Advisory Board members for Mount Vernon Hospital, and we want to thank them. We have our Save and Transform Mount Vernon Hospital Coalition Chair and some of our members here. We have the CEO of the Wartburg, which is our comprehensive adult care community facility. They're here. We have our CEO of the Westchester Community Health Center, Ms. Judith Watson. She's here. And I stated earlier, we have council, controller, Senate, assembly. We have representatives from our Senator Gillibrand's office, our Senator Schumer's office, our Senator Bowman's office. Commission. Our Senator Bowman, our Congressman Bowman's office. And they're important because we're going to be pressing on them very hard, and incoming Congressman Latimer, to make sure that we get some of those HUD hospital transformation funds to continue the work. So sometimes you just have to publicly put it out there. Like I said, when they're not here, you get to say things on their behalf, and we're speaking those things that are not as if they were, and so they can come into fruition. We're glad to see our Commissioner, Dr. Ameler, here from the Westchester County Department of Health as well. So with that being said, our Senator Bailey.
Good morning, Mount Vernon. Good morning. So the first thing I noticed is that the sun is shining. And if you've been paying attention to anything, it's been raining for the last 4 to 5 days. I think it serves as a fitting metaphor for today. There was lots of rain in this process. There were times when we couldn't get out from the umbrella. There were times, well, damn it, the umbrella didn't work. That the umbrella was taken away in a gust of wind, and we didn't see it. But the people that Madam Mayor mentioned, they were our umbrella. See, elected officials, we get lots of credit for lots of things. But the people that we work for, the community members that serve on these advisory boards and that bond together to make sure that not in their city, not in their time, and not ever, give them a round of applause. Because if election season or not, we know who we work for.
Absolutely.
And when Dr. O came, along with Madam Mayor, to use a baseball metaphor for my New York Mets, let's go Mets, we were down 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th. And there's no such thing as a 6-run homer. So we just had to get on base. Just get on base. And we did so. Hit a home run with getting Dr. O. Hit a home run with our mayor. And so now we're back in the game. We're back in the game, and then when you get Reggie Jordan, you load the bases. And all we needed was a single to tie the game. But we got more than a single. We got home runs. We got $41 million worth of home runs to make sure we drive that point through. And the point is crystal clear, and our folks in Montefiore know it better than ever. And if you've ever played a video game called The Sims, you know that if you try to build a city without a hospital, they won't let you do it. Even in a video game, they won't let you build a city without a hospital. Or they'll make you click 3 times. Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? And the residents of Mount Vernon were sure that they did not want to do this. And they fought with us, and my colleagues in government, and everybody that you see behind us. But it took someone who saw that we were in a bottom of the knife. There was a plan before Dr. Oswald came in. But as some of us, and Reverend knows this, man makes plans and God laughs. There was a greater plan for the city of Mount Vernon. And as the city of Mount Vernon grows under the leadership of Madam Mayor and it becomes a greater destination, we will need more hospital beds. we will need greater capacity. As my children and their children and all of our grandchildren begin to continue to flourish in the city, they will need a space that is consistent with what the social determinants of health are and will be in the future. This transformational space will be that space. I am glad to be here. I'm glad to be the senator, and I'm glad to have been a small part in the role that you all played in making sure that this happened. Congratulations.
So, only because Reggie's a little humble and Dr. Oswa and team are a little humble, I just want to help you understand a few things. We're going from, you said 6 overnight beds. We went down to 6.
Inpatient census of 6.
Inpatient census. We went down to an inpatient census of 6. And by the first quarter of this coming year, we'll have over 100 overnight beds open again. Right? Our telemetry unit has expanded and reopened. That's that heart unit, that cardiac unit where you have to walk around with the monitors. That's important because we know that heart disease is very major in our community. We went from transferring people from our ER to other Montefiore facilities to having over 1,000 people transferred from other Montefiore facilities to our facility. I need you to get that. Like I said, hiring of over 50 nurses. You don't need nurses if you don't have patients. The ED visits have increased by 15%. The overnight stays have increased. And so we're seeing growth here, real growth. The numbers aren't being fixed. The numbers aren't lying. The numbers are telling the true story of what is happening here, and we know it's only the beginning. If you go from 6 beds to 100 beds, you're going to see that continued growth along with the fiscal investment, the capital investment, but the human capital investment in the staffing here. Controller, Councilwoman, is there anything you want to say? I just want to make sure my partners in government, are you covered? You're good? You got to make sure because you don't do this on your own. Here, we good? Oh, yeah, okay. So, you sure? Okay.
You want me to say something?
Huh? I mean, if you want to. If you want to. Come on. And we will call on our former but forever Senator Ruth Hassel Thompson, who will have some words. Thank you.
82 years ago, I was born in this hospital. I went to nursing school at Montefiore School of Nursing and came back to Mount Vernon Hospital as a pediatric nurse and worked in drug treatment for the next 25 years. I took those experiences to the state legislature. Today I'm a retired person, but I can never retire because there's too much that we all need to do. Many of you know the mayor and I haven't always been on the same page. But today we are not only on the same page, we got the whole book together. When she said together, she meant together. Ronnie Cox came to my house with nurses and said they want to close our hospital. I said, not where I was born. Today, Madam Mayor, Dr. O, Reggie, you're Reggie now.
Yes.
I told him my formality required that I call him Mr. Jordan until we got to know each other better. Well, we know each other better now.
Absolutely.
And I thank you. And I thank you, Madam Mayor.
And the last thing that I want to say before questions is one of the things that's happening in the state, and we saw that COVID showed that our EMS system all across the country was broken. And one of the things that we've known is that we've had to find ways to expand our EMS system here. And Mount Vernon is still making moves to move towards that as it's starting to become more of a requirement from the state as part of public safety. It's not just police, fire, and OEM, but they're saying EMS. And so to have a rebuilt ambulance bank that allows us to pull right up to the emergency room, to have an ER that goes from about 10 beds to 30 beds, with 10 of them being specialty, will allow our ambulances to come in, offload, and go back into the community, because it's important. When we have to take our ambulances outside of the city and go to other hospitals, it takes a long time to recycle and put them back into service to continue to serve our Mount Vernon residents. So with an expansion of the ER, with upgrades in the ER, with more specialties in the ER, with growing confidence in our ER, that will allow us even to provide more advanced emergency medical services and cut the time that it takes for us to respond to emergency calls. This is more than just a notion. This is medical transformation. And for someone who's had some health challenges recently, trust me, I appreciate it. You know, as we get older, we experience life, right? And so just really, really excited about this today. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. And at this point, we will take questions. There are questions?
So again, the next step in the process is that we have to complete the certificate of need. The goal is to complete our certificate of need and submit it to the state in the winter of this year. And hopefully, through our partnerships, we can get an expedited approval from the state. And we can start construction of our ED in the first or second quarter of 2025.
Tell them what's already happened.
So to date, what we've already completed to date is that we had to repurpose the grant to coincide with the master plan, which consists of 3 projects. And you can see the placards surrounding us here, the unveiling. First project is the emergency department. Again, our current emergency department is woefully undersized at 2,500 square feet and 10 treatment bays. It will quadruple in size to just under 11,000 square feet and nearly 30 treatment bays. So that's our front door. We got to make sure we address the front door. The second project is our operating room. We will build 6 operating rooms that range in size between 500 and 700 square feet. We'll build 2 dedicated GI suites, as well as a new pre and post recovery area. And the third project is making significant improvements and upgrades to our Family Health and Wellness Center to address primary care and help eliminate and reduce access issues and help eliminate health disparities by ensuring that our patients have access to appointments expeditiously and can also make appointments to their specialists as well. So those are the 3 projects that will comprise our certificate of need package. And we're excited about submitting that this winter, and hopefully we'll get an expedited approval from the state so that we can put the shovels in the ground, as the mayor would say, so that we can get to work.
I'm driving to Albany today.
Yeah. So,
And work has already begun.
Yes.
Can you tell them about some of the small projects that you've done? Because the hospital is more aesthetically pleasing. Some upgrades to rooms and bathrooms and lobby area have already happened in advance of the $41 million coming.
absolutely. We've put our heads down and got to work. We made significant cosmetic improvements to this facility over the last year, starting with the parking lot that you're standing in right now. This parking lot was suffering from cracks, and our emergency ambulance cannot drop off patients directly to the bay. So what we did was we addressed the infrastructure and ensured that the infrastructure was safe, and then we repaved the parking lot and restriped the parking lot, added additional signs. Internally, we made significant improvements to each of our inpatient units, starting with our telemetry unit, we made significant improvements there, to our med surg unit as well. More importantly, about 2 months ago, we made a significant capital investment with our electronic medical record system. We transitioned from Allscripts, which is an antiquated electronic medical record system, and transitioned to Epic, which puts us in the same electronic platform as our other 9 facilities. That was an investment of $20 million. So as I stated, the work continues and will continue until we complete this master plan. And again, that's just a down payment. We're going to do 3 things: address our front door, which is our ER, address our economic engine, which is the OR, and the third, address our primary care, which is the gateway to primary care and specialty care. Any other questions?
Very quick, a photo op if you could get together.
Thank you.